Dun, dun. I'm a fucking nerd. I'm a fucking nerd. I have no life. Hi. Hi, everybody. May the 4th be with you. No, but in all seriousness, happy Star Wars Day to all you fellow nerds out there. I figured now is the best time. Why don't we do it? Let's rank all 10 Star Wars movies. Let's do it right now, baby. Come on. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm a super nerd and I really like ranking things for some reason. It makes me feel better about myself, so let's just rank them. Presently, there have been 10 Star Wars movies made. That is prequels, sequels, tie-in stories, the whole shebit and shebang. So with that being said, let's start with number 10. This spot goes to Solo: A Star Wars Story. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The main reason that it is at the bottom of my list is because I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. I just lost interest. Nothing really about that movie grabbed me. I didn't really need to know about Han Solo's story before he became, you know, the Han Solo that we know. I didn't need to know how him and Chewbacca met. I just imagined it. Didn't need the movie. And you really didn't need to replace Harrison Ford. What? I think it's one of the few Star Wars movies that they actually lost money on. So yeah, let's just let's leave it at the bottom where it deserves to be. Solely sucked. Keep it at the bottom. Let's move on. All right, number 9. One of the prequels. People don't like the prequels. I tend to like the prequels, except for this one, Attack of the Clones. I don't even really know what I don't like about this one. It just doesn't feel like authentic to me. I don't know. It's just everything was so obviously on a green screen that it just took me out of the world for some reason. Obviously, when I first saw these as a kid, I was blown away. The one main thing that fans got out of this movie is seeing Yoda fight with a fucking lightsaber and just kill shit. I remember when I was first watching that in the theater and I saw Yoda just start yelling when he was running with his lightsaber, like, little kid me lost his shit. Now when I watch it, I still lose my shit, but the rest of the movie kind of sucks. We're gonna keep it there. Number 9. All right, let's move on to one of the more recent ones that Disney has made, and that is number 8, The Last Jedi. It is episode 8 and number 8 on my ranking, so kind of cool. But hey, this movie kind of sucked. The whole plot of Rose and Finn going to like get the hyperspeed engine, or I don't even remember what they were fucking doing. It was so pointless to the story. Why was that even in there? And to have the First Order chasing after the rebels, but they can't catch up to them. Like, how can they not catch up to them? Or is it just, this is just going to be a chase movie? This is going to be a chase movie the entire time? We're not even going to get to a planet? And I guess my main gripe is Rey's parents were nobody, and they just killed Snoke immediately. I will say, when Rey and Ren started fighting back to back, that was dope. That gave me chills. But the rest of the movie really just didn't do anything for me. And it absolutely massacred Luke Skywalker as a character. That's not something that he would do. Again, that is not something that he would do. If he saw bad in his little nephew, he would try to nurture him to the good side. He wouldn't try to fucking kill him. Are you retarded, Rian Johnson? Rian Johnson, if you make your Star Wars trilogy and you try to be different about it and you try to go against what fans want, we're gonna fucking kill you. Let's move on to number 7, okay? This may ruffle some feathers, but hey, it was 1977. How good of a movie can you make? But of course, this is going to episode 4, the first Star Wars ever made, A New Hope. Don't get me wrong, this is an excellent movie. I really like it a lot. It's just not my favorite of the Star Wars movies, just because not a lot of action happens in it. And the action that does happen is just too dull for my millennial mind to even be interested in. So I just really like to see, I want to see official lightsaber fights. I want to see, you know, I want to see things blowing up. Didn't really happen a lot in the first Star Wars outside of the, you know, the Death Star blowing up. I don't know. It's just not at the top of my list. Not a bad movie. Obviously, it started a whole revolution, but I'm going to keep it there at number 7. And number 6, this was another prequel movie, and you guys have to remember, I was raised on the prequels, so I tend to like them. This spot is going to The Phantom Menace, episode 1, our introduction to Anakin, our introduction to Obi-Wan. Well, I guess not our introduction to them, our introduction to them chronologically. But I love this movie as a kid. Like, I had the VHS, and I swear to God, I watched this thing at least 200 times. I really enjoyed everything about it. Of course, to my little kid mind, now that I've grown up and watched it and rewatched it, there's some things that I have problems with. It just was really campy. It was really a campy movie, like Jar Jar Binks. Everybody hates on Jar Jar Binks, but he was okay. He didn't really exactly fit the Star Wars universe, but I don't think he was a bad character at all. He was funny. He was comic relief. The pod racing scene was fucking dope. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That pod racing scene was sick when he's like... And probably, obviously, the coolest thing that this movie gave us was fucking Darth Maul. When he's just standing there and he ignites his lightsaber and you're like, oh, why is he igniting it that way? And then the second side ignites and you're like, holy shit. And the second coolest thing that this movie has given us was the Duel of the Fates song. You guys know it. But yeah, I kind of like this one, so it's going to be a little bit higher on my list. I don't give a shit what you say. Let's move on to number 5, shall we? And that will be episode 7, The Force Awakens, the resurgence of Star Wars as we know it. Now, this movie obviously was huge when it came out way back in 2015. I went and saw it in IMAX 3D, and my mind was blown. This is how people in the 90s felt when episode 1 came out. This is how I felt when episode 7 came out, because it's something that I knew from my past, and then they were redoing it, so it's very nostalgic for me. I really love this movie. I know it's pretty much just a rehash of A New Hope, but I love Rey, and her being the hero of the story just makes me love it even more. I'm really sorry if you guys don't agree with me, but Rey is the love of my life. She just doesn't know it yet. That wasn't creepy or anything. But I did really enjoy the twist that the girl is the hero in this movie and that we're going to be following her for this next trilogy. I think they set it up well. So Force Awakens is going to be my number 5. All right, Suckerfish, we're getting into the creme de la creme here, okay? Number 4, Return of the Jedi. God damn, this movie is dope, dude. Luke coming back with a green lightsaber, just out of nowhere with a green lightsaber. I was like, okay, yes, show me more, because I was a little kid, obviously, and I was like, I want to see more of this green lightsaber. And of course, Princess Leia, oh my god, Slave Leia, just the hottest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Not only was she hot, but she choked out the motherfucker that enslaved her. Straight up choked him out. She ain't no damsel in distress. She doesn't need to be rescued. She just needed a distraction so she can get this chain around that fat boy's neck and fucking choke him out, dog. Leia is not a bitch. I really just enjoyed everything about this movie, especially everything that took place on Endor. All those Ewoks were the cutest things ever. But of course, getting to watch Darth Vader and Luke's fight at the end, and then obviously taking the Emperor and throwing him down the shaft, that just completed the whole story. I really thought it was a fitting end to the original trilogy. Okie dokie, Smokey, there's only one Disney Star Wars movie that makes it into the top 3, and it's actually not one of the ones of the trilogy. It is one of their anthology films, Rogue One. The main reason I like this movie is it just gives us a different perspective of the Star Wars universe. Every other movie up to this point has been from the point of view of the Skywalkers, following their story, and this just kind of gave us a different perspective. Following Jyn Erso and her story and giving her, giving more characters a bit more depth that aren't named Skywalker really, really worked for me. Having the ragtag team of rebels that are going to do this almost impossible plan, it just gives you that hope that leads into A New Hope, you know what I mean? I think this is for sure Disney's most well-executed Star Wars film. And they gave us the most badass Darth Vader we have seen on screen. Oh my god, when I first saw that shit, I died. It's just completely silent and dark, and it just goes... Oh, just getting nerds everywhere, harder than a goddamn diamond in an ice storm, baby. I will admit, that last scene is probably why it's so high on my list, but fuck it, it was amazing. Alrighty, now we're down to the top 2. Who's gonna get the number 1 spot? I don't know, but the number 2 spot goes to Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I told you guys, I really like the prequels, and this is my favorite prequel. We get to see the transformation of Anakin to Darth Vader. We get to see the relationship, the brotherly relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan deteriorate. We get to see how Palpatine rose and got so much power over all of the galaxy. I think this movie just really did a lot for me as a Star Wars fan. It set up the movies that we've already seen. It answered questions that we had from the previous movies. It just did a lot for me, okay? It did a lot. Now, I know this movie is pretty much all green screen too, but the action works here a bit better for me, especially that last fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin. That's, in my opinion, the best lightsaber duel in all of the Star Wars movies, period. Those motherfuckers go on for like 30 minutes just swinging at each other. Swinging. At one point in the fight, they literally just stop and do twirls at each other and then meet in the middle. Highly trained. I think this movie probably gave me the most emotions as well, just because I had a connection to Anakin and to Obi-Wan, and to watch their relationship just diminish just really broke my heart. And we get to see the origin of Luke and Leia and what happened and why they were separated, and all of this. It just really ties up a lot. Was it the best acted movie? Not necessarily, but Ewan McGregor kills it in every single movie he's in. Episode 1, 2, 3, he's the best. He's the best part out of all those movies, okay? We got to give it to Ewan McGregor. Put the team on your fucking back, though. All right, you guys. It's time for number 1. I'm pretty sure you know what it is. It's pretty much everybody's favorite Star Wars movie, and it's just the best Star Wars movie. So let's get to it. The Empire Strikes Back. just a revolutionary film in so many ways. We get to see a little bit of a more matured Luke, even though it was just a couple months. It was he's taken that step from being a farm boy to accepting that he is now on his hero's journey. I think the Battle of Hoth is like one of the most well executed like action scenes of all of the 80s. It really is just a spectacle. It's memorable. People will remember that part. People remember the things that happen in this movie. It took what happened in A New Hope and it flipped it on its ear. It's like, oh, the bad guys might win. The battle between Luke and Darth Vader is fucking phenomenal. You can feel that emotion in Luke just wanting to defeat this evil, and you can feel that emotion in Darth Vader just wanting to come on, I don't want to fight you, but I want to fight you. Like, come on, just enter the dark side, get with me. It's just like a dad who just like wants to convince his son that he's right. That's basically what the movie is. It's just a dad wanting to get his son on his side. But then that dad cuts his fucking son's hand off, so I don't know what happened there. And obviously probably the most iconic movie line in all of human history.
You killed him. No. I am your father.
It's so funny that people say it wrong. He didn't say, Luke, I am your father. No, I am your father. Not Luke, I am your father. God, have you guys not watched it? Empire Strikes Back was just revolutionary. It showed that the hero doesn't always win, and it showed that there's true evil within the galaxy, and you need to do everything you can to defeat it. But sometimes those motherfuckers are just too goddamn strong, and I think that's beautiful. You just gotta keep fighting against it, even though you're pretty much always gonna lose, and what do? They win in the end, okay? They win. Emperor Palpatine actually might not be dead according to episode 9. We'll have to see. I'm not getting into that right now, but obviously Empire Strikes Back is #1. It's the best Star Wars movie ever made, one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. It's just a spectacle. But there you have it, guys. There's my ranking of all 10 Star Wars movies from worst to best. I almost don't even want to count Solo as a Star Wars movie. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? If you disagree, I don't care. Again, you're wrong. But tell me what you think in the comments. And please, please have a fantastic May 4th. May the Force be with you all. I know I'm like, the nerdiness levels that I hit by saying that as a sign off to the video are implausible. But may the Force be with you. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!